I'm Perrin with Paired and Powered Up, and every great company has a story to tell. Today we're stepping inside Fringe Sport in Austin, Texas to see what makes it tick. The people, the passion, and the energy behind the gear.
The gym frontier, Fringe Sport's calling for you, where the gains are fresh and true. Step inside, let's lift a few at Fringe.
So this is Peter Keller with Fringe Sport, and we are lucky enough to have him today as we start this tour of the facility and the people at Fringe Sport.
Absolutely. Well, welcome, and
Thank you.
welcome everybody else. But yeah, we are in beautiful Austin, Texas, and Perrin didn't mention it, but today is about one of the most beautiful days you could possibly get.
Yeah, it
in
really
Austin,
is.
Texas.
I think I brought the cold weather with me from the
thank you.
Northeast. Yeah, I was not anticipating. I'm like in short sleeves and all this other stuff, and I needed a jacket actually. So yeah, I brought it with me. So you're welcome. You are.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Tim Thibodeau. I'm the content manager and dedicated creator here for Fringe Sport. You've probably seen my ugly face on a lot of our videos. But yeah, I'm just here to make all the products look as pretty as they possibly can and put them in people's hands.
Great. How long have you worked with Fringe Sport?
So I actually started off as a contractor back in May of last year, I think, and I've been on the team full time since January.
What do you like about it? Like what
everything.
keeps you here?
Oh, everything. I mean, so I actually used to work corporate. I've got an accounting background, and I worked there for 6-7 years. Just that rat race is not for me. This is like a really good type of stress. It's fun. It's fun stress.
Yeah, it's fun stress.
Just
Okay.
because like a lot of people, I really like being stressed out because it forces me to work. But it's good amounts of stress. It's good levels of stress. It's good type of stress. So yeah, I would still consider Fringe like in its baby phase, and we're just really looking to take it to the moon.
Okay.
Awesome.
You want to tell us about your space here?
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're coming on a pretty like normal day for us. And so what that means is that you're going to see some like clutter and some other things. We're not the cleanest company, at least as far as we're running some of the back end. So you'll get to see us like warts and all.
We love warts and all. That's what
love
makes you who you are, right?
Yeah, there you go.
That's the whole heart of it, in my opinion.
I love it.
Okay.
So where we are right now in here is our showroom, our gym, and our retail spot. Because we are a direct consumer brand, we're selling, shipping all over the US and all over the world. But here we're in Austin, Texas, and we also invite Austinites to come and shop locally. One of the things about this space here is we used to run the largest free gym in the US from our spot. We had a significantly larger gym area, and we just did it for free. COVID shut that down. And then shortly after COVID, I was meaning to potentially open it back up because I loved it, but it turned out to be, I think, just a distraction from the business of creating awesome products.
Yeah.
And so we haven't reopened that yet. Maybe never will. I don't know. But that was a lot of fun when we did that. We did that for like 5 years. So that was pretty awesome.
That's a good place to start, though, because doesn't it help you identify what people want and need when you have that interaction to begin with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It absolutely does. And, you can cut this out if you want, but I do have like one of my funniest stories that I remember from when we ran that free gym is one day I wasn't up at the office and I got this frantic call from one of my warehouse guys. And I'm not sure if you heard this story before. So I got this frantic call from one of my warehouse guys and he's like, Pete, you said you wouldn't drug test. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you said that you wouldn't drug test as long as everything was cool. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, there are drug testers up here. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, ask them what's going on. And so he asked them, and we actually had a member of the U.S. Olympic weightlifting team training out of our gym. And we knew this. We knew that we had somebody from the U.S. weightlifting team training out of our gym. But what that was USADA coming by to drug test her.
Gotcha.
But this particular warehouse guy happened to talk with them first, and they said that they're drug testers, and then he flipped out and he called me. And so when he called me back, I was like, well, this isn't the greatest look for you.
Right,
like,
yeah.
I'm cool with what you do on Saturday night, but, maybe you should
red flags a little bit.
Exactly. That said, I said, hey, we can just forget that this happened. It's a funny story, and we'll just roll on down the road with that. But that was I mean, we had a few funny things happen when we were running that gym, but that was, for me, the very first thing that comes to my mind when I think about that. You're extra lucky because we actually have a really good pipeline of new product coming out. And there's a lot of stuff that has been like in the background of our videos and things like that. But here, being that this is, again, you know, Austin, Texas, our home,
Right.
you're going to get to see a few things that are pre-launch or even some prototypes that we haven't moved to launch.
That's great.
So do we want to start there, and then we can kind of just move around
Yeah,
as we talk about things?
Well, I did point out, or I don't know if I told her, I don't know if we pointed out, but the new launch of the kettlebells this past week, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So one of the stories behind the kettlebells, so these actually did launch, and a lot of them are sold out,
Oh, wow.
is I've always been a kettlebell enthusiast, but it's become, just frankly, this is like inside baseball, it's become a little harder for us to carry kettlebells since, the tariffs.
Yeah, well, yes, that's a real thing.
Yeah, and normal like cast iron kettlebells, which we at times have sold a lot of, it's just kind of a race to the bottom, and it's hard for us to justify continuing selling those, and so just because we don't make a ton of money on them.
Right.
And
it is
so-
a business, so yes.
There you go. And so we were trying to figure out ways that we could bring innovation to that space. And I'd been off and on working with one of our factories on some rubber kettlebells. And I'm going to toss it this way. So, you know, what that kettlebell does is it takes everything that's good about a kettlebell, a cast iron kettlebell,
Right.
let's say, but it encases it in that really nice UV resistant, weather resistant rubber, and adds even more good and takes away a lot of the bad. All right, so here is our Dane 2. So this is one of the products that we're really well known for, and here are our Gibbon arms. And so the Gibbon arms are an articulating arm that not only fits with our Dane 2 unit, but also is universal or nearly universal for just about every other functional trainer squat rack on the market. And we have been rushing to develop and deliver these things. Everybody asks us about them. Like, our social media is just blowing up, and we've been trying to decide whether we go to pre-order on them or whether we do just a proper launch when we've got these things in hand. As I'm speaking to you, it's the end of October right now.
Right.
We're actually looking at launching them in early December. And
wow,
we
that
haven't,
quickly?
Yeah, we haven't said this anywhere publicly yet.
Right.
So if you keep it in there, this is
That's your public announcement, but yeah, we can
exactly.
also take that out.
Well, you use what you want as
Okay.
you want it. I'm an open book. I'm good.
Oh, so Gibbon is a type of monkey,
Yes.
is it not? Is that where
With-
the name
with
comes
long
from?
arms.
Yes, with long arms. Okay, so that's where it comes from, is the monkey. Okay.
So we like to name things fun things because, like, for example, the Dane, and this is a little bit of a like inside baseball or kind of nerdy thing, is I'm a real big Game of Thrones fan, and there's a character in Game of Thrones called Arthur Dane, and in the TV series, he dual wields swords, so a sword in each hand, and so we called the Dane because it's got weight stacks on each side, so dual wielding weight stacks, and so that's what we're doing there. And then Gibbon arms, we also like to go with like animal type of inspiration for the names, and so
Yes.
monkeys with long arms, Gibbons, and these kind of have a long arm. And so there you
Right.
go. And so the seat on the Walrus goes from a sitting, so like a lap pull down, to, I guess they're both sitting, but slightly higher sitting place for the lap pull down, to flopping forwards so that you can do a low row on it.
Yep.
And so one of the things when we were brainstorming is we were trying to think, like, what's an animal that flops around? And what do we had one animal name that every...
I think the narwhal. Or,
No, we had some sort of bat. There's some sort of...
bracken.
Oh, the bracken.
Oh,
so there's
yeah.
a bat called a bracken, but actually we went to Home Gym Con and we were telling people, hey, this is the bracken. Everybody's like, the kraken?
Kraken, yeah.
Yeah. And so we were like, okay, well, we're going to 86 that,
Yeah.
and we'll come up with something better. So we came up with the walrus.
Walrus. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember when that came out, everybody was like, why is it called the walrus? So we just reached out to you and we're like, why is it called the walrus?
Yep.
And you told us. So
Yep.
yeah, okay, cool.
Exactly. Do you guys want to see some other prototypes?
Yeah, oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
So this is something else that we've been working on for a while. And so basically, one of my things with functional trainers, and I like functional trainers, but most of the functional trainers that are on the market, they almost have squat rack uprights here at the front, but the squat rack uprights are canted slightly
Right.
out because a lot of functional trainers have this like triangular footprint. And the reason that they're canted slightly out is because you have to do just a little bit of engineering with the cable routing and the pulleys, and it's easier to do that cable routing if these things are turned slightly. But when I say easier, it's not a huge problem to re-engineer and push these squat racks, face these uprights forward. And so that's what we did, is we face the uprights forward so you can actually squat off of this as long as, of course, you have the trolley up
Right.
and out of the way. And so that's, have we come up with a name for this guy yet?
We're still workshopping.
What's the Fenrir? We're naming something the Fenrir.
That would be this. If
Okay.
we're settled on the Fenrir, then it's this.
And what
Okay.
is that? What is
It's a wolf from Norse mythology.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Reason? Don't know.
Okay.
So we have a lot of fun when we name things because everybody kind of like, we spitball different names and see what sticks and see what we like. So right now, I think we were going for a little bit of alliteration, like functional trainer, Fenrir, and then,
Yeah.
Norse mythology, wolf, sounds good. So that's the working title for it. And this is not going to be launched until Q1 of next year. But the engineering is all completely done on it, and we're ready to go on that.
And it is a dual stack with a very small footprint.
Yes.
Like this is
Yep.
for a functional trainer, a dual stack functional trainer, this footprint is tiny.
Yep. And we're also trying to, we're bringing in just a little bit of like storage in the
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
We like to do a pegboard. So one of the things is these hex holes on the pegboard are actually the same distance apart as just like circular holes on a normal pegboard, but we think the hex adds a certain aesthetic and
Yeah.
look, but has the same amount of functionality of a normal pegboard.
I love it.
And then we've got a couple of different, pull-up bar options, especially because we're trying to be like super space efficient
Yeah.
with this guy. And part of the space efficient is the height situation, because one of the complaints that we get, or let's not say complaints, one of the comments that we get about the Dane, because we only do the Dane right now in one height. And so we get two sorts of comments on that. First, we get the basement dwellers, which we love you basement dwellers, but they don't love the height because
Because it limits, yeah.
Exactly. And so right now we don't have pipelined a lower Dane, but we do have this guy that has a significantly lower height than the Dane and a couple of different pull-up bar options. So rather than do a lower Dane, which maybe there's an argument that we should do that anyways, but we are going to put out the Fenrir, and it's going to be a great option for those basement dwellers. Here's how I see the home gym market.
Right.
So first of all, it's awesome because it's been near and dear to my heart for years, and it's exploding right now. And what you have is you have some companies that are fairly established, and they're creating or innovating and whatnot. And then you have a bunch of like relatively smaller makers. And actually you find the smaller makers, in my opinion, being significantly more innovative than the like larger and established companies. And Fringe is kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing this for 15 years. We have a pretty decent size company and decent size scale, but
Yeah.
we're still not up there with the significantly larger companies. But we're way bigger than the small makers.
Right.
And so our style is, or our thought is, okay, never do a Me Too product, never steal, but take inspiration from what's out there and iterate and make better. And what we always do is we fight up and we collaborate down. So when you see a smaller maker, and I'll just name a few smaller makers that I think are doing amazing things because I love to shine a light on them. So Black Widow, like Dean makes just beautiful, beautiful stuff.
We have quite a few things of Dean's in our gym. We love Dean.
Absolutely, so do I. Like he makes just awesome, awesome stuff.
Yep.
I'm constantly calling him and saying like, hey, do you want to collaborate on something? And he's just like, Dean does his thing.
Yes.
So, but I'm always calling him, Dean, if you're watching this, let's do something, bro. So Dean does just absolutely amazing things. Darko is doing,
Love Darko.
Dave is doing
Yep.
just like amazing, amazing things. And he keeps innovating and bringing more stuff out. And I think that that's really cool. We also, do we have any side wings installed here?
Right here.
Oh, okay, oh yeah. So we've got a product called the Side Wing. And a lot of people, it's kind of a modular pulley system to install onto somebody who already has a squat rack.
Yeah.
A lot of people compared it to what Dialed Motion is doing. I think it's got some similarities to what Dialed Motion is doing, but it's got some like fairly significant differences. But when you look at what Dialed Motion, like the products that they build, and of course, they're a smaller company, but they're building at a significantly higher price point than where we typically are. But when you look at the engineering and the way that they're approaching solving problems, like it's just very interesting. So like, for example, I mean, you're probably aware, they have what do they call it, a tensioner, or not a tensioner, but they have some device basically that allows you to make the cable shorter or longer.
Right.
And that is a really well-engineered, well-executed solution to the problem of different squat rack heights and different things like that. So we would never, let's say, knock that off, but we would say, it's really interesting what they're doing. How do we put a Fringe spin on something like that? But speaking of like smaller makers that are doing really interesting things, Larry from Bulletproof.
Oh, we love us some Larry Nolan.
He is a mad scientist.
He is a mad.
Emphasis on mad.
You saw the new rack formations that he's doing. Have you seen the new design that he's doing?
I probably have, but
Yeah. It's just a different design that has a center expander and some other different things. He's very innovative.
Yep.
And all over the place sometimes, but we love him. We love him. He
Yeah.
likes to communicate a lot.
There you go.
That's good.
But so one of the things that I was talking about is, we take inspiration from everything that's going out there. And so back to one of the products I was talking about, our Slim Gym, is this sort of design is more popular in Europe than it is in the US. There are a few companies that are doing some similar things in the US.
Well, we just got the Viper.
Yep, there
from
you go.
GetRx,
So GetRx actually was one of the companies that is doing something somewhat similar.
Yep.
But what we saw the idea of having fundamentally a functional trainer that is up against the wall. Like there's a lot of benefit to that. And as I'd mentioned, when we come out with this, I'm actually installing one of the first ones off the container in my house because it's going to free up a lot of space
absolutely.
in my personal garage, and I might be able to put a car back in there. So, but what no one else is doing and what we're doing is, so number one, what you're seeing here is actually 2 units that's married with this
a
center
center
post here.
Yep.
But the units, so this is bolted into the wall.
Right.
But once you get the unit and decide how to put it together, it does need to be bolted to the wall, but you can actually separate the units apart. So if you want a little bit more space on your pulleys, you can move it farther apart. And I can tell you that the number one use case for that is going to be if you have a doorway in the middle. You could put one at each side of the doorway, and then you can actually recover some space that might otherwise be unused for your garage gym.
Gotcha.
Or you can put it together like this, and when you put it together like this, we have centered both of these uprights at our squat width, and then it's right up against the wall, so we've come up with these J-cups
I was just gonna
that
say,
push out further
I
from
like
the
these
wall,
J-cups.
so you can squat off of this guy.
Yep.
And when you're not using them,
You just take them off
you can take it off
and store it. Smart.
and store it just like that, or you can store it somewhere else. But the idea is that you can be squatting off of it when you're obviously not using it for the cable system. And something that people have asked about when they saw it on some of our videos are these leg pieces.
Yep.
So these leg pieces are only for safety if you are squatting off of it. So if you're not looking to squat off of it, you don't need these leg pieces at all. And to be honest, you don't need these leg pieces at all either if you are squatting off of it, but you are, firmly and appropriately mounting it to the wall. And so there's my MG.
Ah, that is cool.
Yeah. So actually, this is my wife's MG, and she really wants me to rehab it, refinish it, and bring it back. I know I'm on video right now, but I'm highly inclined to just buy one that somebody else has already done all the work on, and then tell her, "Hey, honey, look what I did," and then we'll just.
Do you have
sunset
that
this
skill
one.
set?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not-
Okay, that would take a lot of learning to be able to make this happen. Why
Yeah.
don't you just hire someone to redo that once?
So, in fully redone condition, this thing is worth like $20,000 to $25,000. My guess is to get that into fully rehabbed condition is going to be like 80,000 or 100,000, and so
The ROI on that is a
there's
little
none.
lopsided.
Yeah. So, but the EOI, the emotional,
Yeah,
or whatever.
The EQ, the emotional quotient of that is pretty high.
Yeah, because she remembers when she was a little girl, her grandfather would drive it in parades, and she would like wave out the back of it. So that's what she's got in her
Yeah.
mind that
That she wants to experience again, or have.
wants to give our
Your
our
kids.
daughters that experience.
Yeah.
Parent, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Well, Noah, tell me, what do you do here at
What do I do here? I'm the inventory guy. So that's my lead, Cliff, but I kind of handle, the day-to-day things as far as like inventory levels, unloading trucks, cycle counts, audits, things like that.
How long have you been here?
About around 6 months.
6 months?
Yes, ma'am.
You like it?
I love it.
Good.
Yes,
Good.
ma'am.
So tell me, what brought you here? Like,
What brought me here?
Yeah.
Honestly, at my last job, I just wasn't making enough money and there was no room for me to grow. So, I just had to keep looking, and that's how I, came around here.
that's good, and there's growth opportunity here.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So you're planning to stick around.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you from Texas originally?
I am.
Okay. From Austin?
Yes.
Okay. What high school did you go to?
I went to W. Ray High School in Corpus. Sorry, I'm actually not.
You're from Corpus.
Yes.
You're still Texan, though. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. Corpus to Austin. Okay. Perfect. Well, thanks, Noah. We'll
Yeah,
get
of
on
course.
soon.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What would you?
So tell me, how long have you been here at Fringe Sport?
I've worked with Fringe in the past, a number of years ago, for about 5 years, and recently came back 3.5 months ago.
Okay. And what do you do here?
I'm a backstock lead. I'm handling inbound shipments, inventory control. It's pretty much me and Noah handling all of that.
Okay.
We restock the shelves. We make sure that all samples or anything that the showroom needs is there. Audits, all of that kind of thing. We also take care of the maintenance of the machinery. Make sure that if it's something we don't know, we're bringing in somebody to take care of it.
Great. What brought you back? Why did you come back?
Number of reasons. One, I love the culture here. I'm a fitness, I'm into fitness as well myself. So I also just really wanted to get back with a local company, as opposed to some massive corporation.
Yeah.
I like I love Austin, and I wanted to keep a local family vibe.
I love it.
They provide here for sure.
It's so good to hear, right? Like, and
Giving
it's,
back to the community,
and it's small, right? So you know everybody. There's not. So I love that.
And Peter's amazing. The team is great. Everybody on that side is amazing. I love the crew over here, and most of them are newer as well. So we've been retraining each other as we go on.
That's great. And there's a lot of collaboration. A lot
A lot of collaboration. Yeah, a lot of teamwork, especially between the departments. Just making sure that everybody has what they need, and they're coming to me for something almost daily. So
It's great.
yeah.
Cool. Anything that you think people should know about Fringe that they don't know?
Oh, the equipment is top of the line. I mean, and they're coming out with things that are very innovative that you're not going to find from other companies. The belt squat is a genius invention, and I couldn't talk higher.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Really, thank you.
I've always wanted to run a sub 20 5K, and the fastest I ever got was when I was significantly younger, and I ran a 20:29.
Oh, you're so close.
So close. I should have just done it then. But that's one of the things that I'm training for right now. So,
That's impressive.
well, I'm just training for it. Haven't done it yet.
Well, no, but the training for it it gets you there, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't train, you're not going to achieve the goal anyway.
Yeah. I was listening to Jim Rohn this morning, and one of the things he said, fall in love with the work, and then the results will happen. And I was like, wow, that's great. Because actually I do love, I love what I do. And so, there've been some pretty nice results. And then also back to the running and training, I'm like, okay, well, I'm either going to run a sub 25K or I'm not.
Right.
And time will tell. But I'm enjoying training for it. And so, there you go.
I love it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you for your
pleasure.
time today. As we wrap up this Fringe tour, I'm walking away with more than footage of equipment and warehouses. What we found here in Austin was a community, a team of people who show up for one another, who innovate with intention, who care deeply about their customers, and who treat their workplace like a family. Peter, thank you for opening your doors, your story, and your culture to us. It's rare to meet a founder who leads with transparency, humility, and a real passion for improving lives through strength, not as a slogan, but as a daily practice. And to the entire Fringe family, thank you for welcoming us in and giving us a behind-the-scenes look at the heart of what you do. And if you're wondering why Peter looks a little different now than he did during the tour, well, he finally let his daughter take charge of his hairstyle, which is just another example of who he is, someone who embraces change and finds joy in making people around him happy. A special thank you to my good friend Heather, who stepped in as videographer and learned more about home gym equipment than she ever thought she'd need to. This project wouldn't have happened without you. And as Peter always says, strength isn't just something you build, it's something you share. And what we saw here is a team that lives that truth. If you enjoyed this tour, keep an eye out for some of the new launches you saw throughout the video. There's a good chance they'll be showing up in future videos here. So make sure to like, subscribe, and stick around for more behind-the-scenes tours, gear deep dives, and stories from inside the home gym community. As always, stay powered up and keep building the life and the strength you want.
Lift your dreams, no need to shush. Feel the burn, the muscle cheer. Austin's heart beats loud.